Your body is your flesh business card. Human beings, whether you like it or not, are programmed to judge someone on how they look. That's why when you see an attractive girl, you get excited. When you see a guy that's 6'5" and 100 kilo, you feel threatened. When you see someone in a suit, you think professional. In fact, I've even seen videos and studies where two people lie down on the floor of a public high street. One of them is dressed in a suit and the other is dressed as a homeless man. How many people do you think walked past with no regard to the homeless man? Literally all of them. How many people stopped and helped the guy that was in the suit? A hell of a lot more, and that's just the reality of it. You would stop and speak to someone that looks in very good condition, dressed well, versus somebody that's raggedy, looks homeless, has a teeth missing. You're not going to stop and speak to them, and that's just the reality, because you judge someone straight away on the way they look. And it goes back to when we lived in the wild. You're assessing threat in that very given moment. So it makes a hell of a lot of sense that how you look will determine the outcome of your life. In fact, it will determine the type of friends you have, because I'm not being funny, if all of your friends are in good shape and have high standards, they're either going to let you become their friend, but they're going to fucking terrorize you all the time because they'll see you as weak, or you will just have friends that are also fat and gopping as well. And I don't know about you, but that doesn't sound too much fun. It's definitely going to reflect the type of partner you have. Maybe some women are happy with a guy that's really fat. Well, not really. You can't be really fat, obviously, but let's just say you're out of shape. Some women may be okay with it, but you better have a fucking shed load in the bank. But even still, then are they just with you as a fucking meal ticket? So I would argue it's going to affect the type of partner you have. And then I would even say it would affect whether you got a job interview or not. I think if two people go for the same job interview, you both deliver the same level of output, can articulate yourself the same, but one is in better shape, I actually think the guy in better shape would get the job. And because if he's in better shape from his physical condition, generally his jawline's going to be more defined and his facial features, so he's going to look more presentable. And who do they want in front of their company presenting? It's going to be the better looking guy, if both can perform to the same standard. So realistically, I think of what I've just said, it's not actually an option to not be in shape. I think it's fucking mandatory, unless you want like an average miserable existence on this earth. And yet we're only here fucking one life for a short period of time in our youth anyway. Why would you not want to live the absolute best life you possibly can? So realistically, it is mandatory to fucking have a top 10 physique, a top 10% physique. And I would say the photo you see in front of me, it's not top 1% at all, not even top 5. But I do think it's in the top 10, and I do think you could definitely achieve this within a 6-month time period. And I say that because I've helped people get to that point in that rough time frame. So realistically, you are not that far away from where you need to be to look very good, but you do need to do the fucking work or it's not going to happen. So in this video, we're going to go into like a little bit of a guide on how we're going to get you there. Now, to each of the sections, I've definitely done full videos, and I'll tell you where you could go and find that if we want to go deeper into the knowledge. But boys, your body is your flesh business card, and you deserve to have the fucking best business card you possibly can. So let's roll straight into it. The first thing you need to fix, if you want to get a top 10% physique in 6 months, is your self-image. It's how you see yourself in this world. You need to become the man that is able to obtain and hold on to this physique. Otherwise, if you don't change what goes up in your upstairs, that won't happen. You will fuck it up. You will lose the physique because you don't think you are worthy of it. You've got standards, and the reason why you look the way you look is, to be honest, you're probably okay with how you look. If you're being honest, you probably are. Like, that's your level of standards, and that will go across the board to how cleanliness is your fucking bedroom. Is it tidy right now, or is there scruffy socks on the floor? Is there fucking nail clippings around your sink? And that's just your standards. You will let your standards hold to a certain point. When they go below it, you will go and fix it. The same goes for how long you'd have a haircut. I go every week. It's been fucking 8 days and I'm absolutely furious because I haven't been able to get one yet. So you will have a standard for that. You'll have a standard for the type of women you get. You will just not go below a certain number out of 5. Call me shallow, it's true. You just will not go below a certain point. You will not associate with certain people that are of a certain standard. You just won't. And a good analogy is, if I put you on hot coal rocks, you would jump off it as quick as you can. The same goes for your level and standard across certain aspects of your life. Like, it may be 2 weeks and you're like, I have to get a haircut. It's fucking like, this is below my standard, or my room is below my level of cleanliness. Or you may have got so fat that you're like, whoa, this is like the next level. Maybe even with your job and your income. And you need to have the same analogy when it comes to building the physique. We essentially need to move up your hot coal rocks level up to the new standard point, that it is just a non-negotiable to be 10% body fat, to have a certain level of tissue on your physique. Like that, it has to be the standard. And we have to frame who you are as a person, that is your standard now. You will not accept anything less, because if you accept anything less, you'll bounce straight back. And a good analogy I like to use is a rubber band analogy. Pull a rubber band, what's going to happen? It's going to snap back. Have you ever felt this when you've been trying to change something that's, needs changing in your life? It may have been like you try to do like cold showers, you do it for a week or so and you just fuck it off. You try reading for like 10 pages a day for a month and then you just fuck it off. Or like eating healthy, training, running, whatever it is, some form of like improvement to your life, and you just snap back to the old you. That's because in this very instant, your self-image is being challenged. Who you identify as a person, is being threatened. And your subconscious will not like that. Your subconscious is who you are as a person when you're kind of like on autopilot, when you're not really thinking too much. That's just who you are as a person. We have to change that for you to actually be able to hold this physique long term. You almost want to get the rubber band to pull and flip in the other way and just like skyrocket you up to where we need to. Now, visualization, call it gay, call it wishy-washy, but have you ever visualized some act happening and then it's made it a lot easier to happen in your brain? I've used this a lot of times when I was in the army. When I had to speak in front of like a big group of people, I would rehearse it, I would visualize it, how it was going to go, when I was going to say what. And for a speech, it works really well because you can rehearse how you're going to say it, when you're going to pause, when you're going to raise tone, when you're going to speak lower, blah, 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 blah. And I would do that, and I would also put a song on that then got me in the mood for that. So before I go and do the speech, I'm like, boom, play the song, okay, bang, 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 and we execute, and it was fucking next level, and then we could speak in front of loads of people. You need to do the same thing for you, but don't think of yourself curling weights in the gym. Think of like, you just see some of your mates you've not seen for a long time. They're like, fucking hell, yeah, you've been training. You're like, yeah, boy, like, look at these abs. And you like rub your fingers on that very moment where you've gone to meet your mates and you lift your top up and you rub your fingers across your abs. That's the image that you're visualizing and happening in your head. I do this for like my certain like levels of work. I visualize like the guys completing the transformation and how good that before and after is going to look. So you've got visualization. Of course, we know we need to, because that's going to program the subconscious. You need to have reminders of this consistently, or you'll think about it once and then you'll forget about it. So when you visualize, maybe just do this for like once a day, and that's it. For a short period of time. Don't try and make this like a massive thing you do all the time. Do it when you're walking, do it when you're on the treadmill. You need to set reminders to the fact that I don't eat Mackies because it's not who I am anymore. I don't wank my back out every day because it's not who I am anymore. The guy I want to become, the athlete I want to become, he wouldn't do this, so I don't do this either now. It's just not a part of me. And it's so easy to cut shit out as it is to like bring new shit in. So you do the first two, you can't skip the first two, and then they go into your actions. And then your actions is what we're going to go into in the later sections of this video. That's what's going to actually get you there. Now, I made a video on why people can't hold their physique long term, and it goes into more detail on this, so go and check that out after you've watched this video. The next thing we need to fix is your nutrition. Nutrition, people say 60% of the battle. I don't think so. You still need to train like a fucking warrior, but it is very, very important. First question, are you 10% body fat? If the answer is yes, then fine. Go into a slight surplus, continue to improve the reps in the gym, the reps and the load until you're happy with the amount of tissue you've got. Only increase food when you find performance is not really increasing that much in the gym and the scale weight is starting to plateau out across a 2-week period. Now, I'm going to assume you're not 10% body fat. So the first thing we need to do is get you to 10% body fat. I'm going to show you quickly how we're going to do that. Okay, so let's say right now you've taken a picture, or you're going to pause this video, take a picture of yourself from the front in clear lighting, and you're going to compare it to this chart here. It's going to be a rough guide, but it's going to get you in the right ballpark and figure. Let's say you sit in between these two people, probably closer to this guy, you're 18% body fat. Cool. You're going to also weigh yourself on a scale, and you're going to put your weight in. You are 90 kilos, and you're 18% body fat. Your lean mass is 73, basically 74. Your RMR is this. You're fairly active within a day. You're not completely desk bound, but you're not like out doing loads of shit. So you're going to sit on the average 155 times the two together. Gives you a maintenance of 3,000. You're going to need to go in a deficit. You don't want to go in a crazy deficit to start with because you can always pull more off later. It's like having a haircut. Take a bit more off if you need to. Don't go whoop because you can't put the coat back on. So you then have your target. We've changed it to 0.5% drop initially, and this is giving you a new target, 2,550 calories. Basically, a protein split of 177, fats, 25% of this figure here, 71, and 300 grams of carbs. Cool, so now we know what your macros are. Again, if you need help with this, drop me a DM, drop me a comment, we'll make it happen, no problem. So we understand where your start point is. Now, if you are 18% body fat and you need to get down to 8 to 10% body fat, you're going to want to try and drop. If you're 90 kilo, you're looking around 1% of the scale weight per week. Roughly, that's going to be about, you could say, a kilo a week will be okay for you. And then you want to go from this figure here, 90 kilo, you're probably going to need to end up at 73 plus 10%. So let's be conservative. Let's say you need to get down to 78 kilos. Okay, divide that as 1% across the scale weight. It's going to take you around about 12, 13 weeks, only because I've done this a fair few times. And that's how long it's going to take to get to that point. And then you're going to need to reverse out. Now, going back to our page on here, we understood what your calorie intake needs to be relative to the goal you need to get to. We understand your macro breakdown, excuse my words, on what you exactly need to eat. Now it's cool. What do I actually eat in terms of a food type? And we're going to pull that up for you right now. So here, when it comes to protein, stick to the whole foods. Tuna, raw turkey mince, chicken breast, whey proteins, egg whites, white fish, Greek yogurt, mince, salmon fillet. Take a screenshot of this. This is for 40 grams. This is the amount of the food you need. This is the food type you need. Stick to whole foods. Fats, it was 71, I believe. These are your fat options. Haven't put avocado on there. You can put it on if you want. Again, this is for 10 grams. This is what you would need. You need 70. Take these figures, times them by 7. Take a screenshot. There you go. 300 grams of carbs. You're going to want to divide that between, majority will come from starchy, i.e. pasta, rice. I'll call out starchy. And then your high GIs around your workout. Stuff like Cocoa Pop, stuff like New York bagels, Scotch pancakes, your breads, bananas, which will also come in the fruit. 300 grams of carbs, set it from this. There's your food types you're going to eat. Nice, simple, nice and easy. And then we've got hacks for staying consistent. If you are a hungry bastard and you like to eat all the time, fast in the morning. It's 10 o'clock. I've only had black coffee because I like to push my meals back. I'm currently reversing out of a diet. I'm not in a surplus yet, so I like to push my meals back and fast and have black coffee. That will help you. Space out your meals every 3 hours, and hydrate well as you consume those meals, and naturally just the water going in with the carbs you're consuming will give you more fullness. Sticking to whole foods and less palatable foods will give you a less chance of cheating. This is why we only set fats at maximum 25%. A, because the rest can go to carbs and we can drive performance in the gym and the protein that you need to repair the muscle. But the rest, we don't want too high fats, because high fats is very palatable, means you want more and more and more. I eat dark chocolate, 20 grams end of the day, and I want more and more and more of it. But obviously, I've trained this upstairs not to need it. Now, that is why we say that, and that's why I'd say minimize the cheat meals. Like, fuck the cheat meals off. Do you want a top 10% physique or not? Do you want to fucking look like this or not? Just fuck the cheat meals off. Because when you have a cheat meal, you want more and more and more because it's nice, it's palatable, it's made, so you keep coming back and eating more. So just screw that up for yourself and stay away from it and enjoy a bit of mental discipline. Okay, and that is pretty much it for nutrition, what you need to do. Stay consistent over the long term. Fix your training. Okay. What should you program? Well, we need to train the upper body muscles twice per week as a non-negotiable. I would say you need at least 2 rest days per week, so that will give us 5 days of training. Training split that I follow, that all my clients follow: push, pull, legs, rest, chest and back, arms and delts. When you select the exercise, you want to think about hitting the muscle in the lengthened position. So something that's like a dumbbell or a barbell. I'm not a fan of barbells, but that will hit the muscle in the lengthened position because it's a blunt piece of weight. So when the joints are furthest away from each other, only the muscle is holding it in place. You also want something that's going to hit it in the short position. Things like a cable stack will do that, where there's tension all the way on. When you're looking at your physique, think about your weaker areas. So for me, I'd really like to build more chest and more arms. So we've got flat dumbbell and an incline machine press, an incline dumbbell and a flat machine press, and some form of a pec deck to bring the arm across the body. I want more arms. Biceps, we're going to do something where the arm's in front of the body, behind the body. Triceps, we're going to do something where the arm is above head, and then something where the arm is in this position here. We're just looking to extend the elbow. When you're doing your back, think about pulling horizontally and vertically. Support the chest when you're doing any row exercise for the upper back, because then you can load it up more. Single arm will work nicer for the lats because you can pinpoint where exactly you're going to hit. So pull downwards and row backwards. And that's all. For the shoulders, more lateral raises will blow those up, to be honest. And we'll move on from there. That's exercise selection. Exercise execution. What we need to remember for this are 3 things. The first one, range of motion. Take each exercise through the full range of motion. If it's a dumbbell chest press, bring your elbows in at 45 degrees. Again, that's the second part we need to think about, is the arm path. But bring your elbows in at 45 degrees, fixing the arm path, and then take it as deep as you can. The more you can stretch the muscle, the more fibers you're going to tear, the more gains you're going to make. Range of motion, very important. Do not do half reps, you pussy bitch. And the next thing to think about then is the arm path itself. Are we moving the muscle through bringing the origin and the insertion together to connect with the muscle? If it's the chest, the role of the pec is to pull the humerus, your upper arm, across towards the midline of your body. So even when you're pressing, think about converging your biceps across your body. Don't think about pressing straight up and down, because you won't contract the pecs in the same way. And the last thing is tempo. Do not lift your weights like a fucking sewing machine, because you're losing out on a lot of tempo, time and attention. Think about coming down slowly, and then think about separating the lowering and the up phase with a 1 second pause. And again, if it's a dumbbell press, a lot of gains are going to be in that 1 second pause at the bottom in the lengthened position where it's hardest. Again, on the way up, don't think about just banging the weight up. It may take a 2 second concentric. And then in the shortened position, again, especially if it's a machine, think about squeezing the muscle for a second in the shortened position. And then the last thing is intensity. Train fucking hard. You will not get a nice physique if you tickle weights. It just will not happen, because why would your body change? Your body is changing relative to the stress you're putting on it. Stress is good, but we need to really do push it. So track what you're lifting, track your weights, track your reps, and improve on it next time. And that's really all there is to training. And the last thing, fix your accountability. Tell someone you're going to do this. Tell someone, I'm going to get in the best shape of my life. Take fucking photos every week. Weigh in every day, because that will keep you accountable, because you know how much of a piece of shit you are if you don't weigh in, or you do and the scale weight's gone up, or the photos look the same and you look fucking crap. It will reflect and it will keep you on point. Tracking, track everything. Track your weights in the gym, track your food, weigh your food. There's non-negotiables to this. If you don't know if you can't tell me what you ate yesterday, you're not for sure know if you were in that deficit following a meal plan. And start saying no to shit. People will try and get you out for dinners. People will try and get you out on the piss. If you want to look like this, then say no for 6 fucking months. And then you guess what? You can go out and you can look like this. And things will be a lot better and a lot more enjoyed. And this will be a lot more enjoyable than it will be just sipping a beer or eating a piece of food, because it took no effort, no skill, no raw man strength to go and drink that beer or eat that food. It does to get to this point here. And that's all I'll really say on this, boys. So if you need help with any of this, this is obviously my specialty. This is what I do. There'll be a link in the description. Book a call. See if we're a good fit together. If you want to work with me and you want me to essentially do this for you and streamline your progress to this point and to this goal. If you do, there'll be a link in the description. I hope this has opened your perspective, boys. 6 months work to a top 10% physique. Your body is your flesh business card. See you tomorrow.